Hey guys, this is 5.4. We're going to talk about multiplying polynomials. All right. To multiply any two polynomials, use the distributive property and multiply each term of one polynomial by the term of the other polynomial and combine any like terms. Okay. So it's like the exponent product rule from 5.1 and 5.2. where if you have a base, you can add the two exponents, okay? Example 1, multiply. So we're gonna multiply the two numbers, and then we're going to multiply the exponents by adding, we're going to multiply the letters by adding the exponents of those letters that are in common. Yeah, like terms. So the like terms here, 10 and 9 are like terms. So we multiply them. 10 times 9 is 90, right? And then the two like terms are the two x's. So x times x is x squared, right? Or we can think of it as x to the first power times x to the first power. The exponent rule says to add them, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? So our final answer, is both of those together. 90x squared. Okay? Now, the next one, our like terms are 3 and -2. Always bring the sign. So 3 times -2 is -6. And then we have x squared times x, which becomes x2 plus 1, right? Which becomes x to the third. So our final answer here is -6x to the third. Let's do this one. 8x to the third times -11x to the 7th. 8 and -11 become -88. X to the third times x to the 7th is x. 3 plus 7, x to the 10th. Okay, so our final answer is -88 x to the 10th. We're just combining like terms and multiplying what we are able to multiply. So those were each monomials. Do you remember monomial means 1? Now we have a monomial times a binomial, or a monomial times a polynomial, whatever you would like to call it. So this monomial 4x will be distributed to the 4x to the third and to the 8x. So 4x times 4x to the third. 4 times 4 is 16, right? And then we have x1 times x to the third, x to the first times x to the third. So that becomes 16 x to the 1 plus 3, which is 16 x to the 4th, right? So that's our first term, 16 x to the 4th. And then our other term is 4x times a positive 8. So 4 times 8 becomes 32. And then we just have 1x. So we're going to put together that, and that will be our answer. So our answer is positive 16x to the 4th plus 32x. Okay. Now here is a monomial times a trinomial. Okay. So we'll start with distributing the negative 5x squared times 2x squared. So the x squared times the x squared just gives us x to the 4th, right? Negative 5 times 2 gives us negative 10 x to the 4th. Okay. Now I'm going to take that negative 5x, multiply it by positive 7x. X squared times x gives us x to the 3rd. Negative 5 times 7 is negative 35, right? Negative 35x cubed. And finally, we will do that negative 5x squared times a negative 2. So x squared, negative 5 times negative 2 is actually a positive 10. So we have negative 10x to the 4th minus 35x cubed plus 10x squared. And that is our final answer. All right, last one. Negative a squared b. Okay, it's kind of like having a negative 1a squared b, right? The negative is with the whole thing. So 4 times a negative 1 is a negative 4, right? A squared times a to the 3rd gives us a. 3 plus 2 is 5, right? The b has no like terms, so we just add it to the end, b. Now we have a negative times a negative 2. That will give us a positive 2. A squared times a, we're just adding those, a to the 3rd. B times b, b1 plus b1 is b2, right? And our last one, negative times a positive is a negative, a squared, because there are no a's. B times b squared is b to the 3rd. So we have negative 4a to the 5th b plus 2a3 b2 minus a squared b cubed. All right. These were all monomials, right? So we were multiplying a monomial times another monomial or times a binomial or a trinomial. Here we have 2 binomials, or at least 1 binomial times something bigger. So the binomial will require us to do, maybe you remember the FOIL method, first, outside, inside, last. Yeah. 1 second, let's make sure I'm right. All right, so first, outside, inside, last. We'll start with this one. First. First just means the first 2 terms, y and y. Y times y gives you y squared. Okay. Outside. Outside means the y times the 7. That gives you 7y, right? inside means the 5 times the y. And then last. Last means 5 times 7. 35. Okay. So first, outside, inside, last, you're just saying take the y, multiply it by the y. Sorry, let's take the first term, multiply it by the first term, then the second term. Take the second term, multiply it by the first term and the second term. Okay. So our final answer is y squared. Well, it's not our final answer. Plus, because it's positive 7y, plus 7y, plus 5y, plus 35, because they were all positive. But it's not our final answer because those are like terms. So 7 and 5 become 12. Y squared plus 12y plus 35 is our actual final answer. Okay. So same thing over here. Two x times 7x is 14x squared. Okay. Two x times 5 is 10x. Negative 4, take the sign with it, times 7x is negative 28x. And then negative 4 times positive 5. Negative 4 times a positive 5 is 20. All right. So we have 14x squared plus 10x minus 28x plus 20. These are like terms, so we can combine them. And our final answer is 14x squared minus 18x plus 20. No, it's a negative 20. That's a negative 4, I just couldn't see it. Negative 20. 14x squared minus 18x minus 20. All right. Ooh, now it's a trinomial. So all that means is we're going to put that a times each of these, and then we're going to do that 2 times each of these. Okay. Don't worry. So we'll start with a times a to the third is a to the fourth because we add 3 and 1, right? Then we're going to do a times negative 3a squared. That becomes negative 3a cubed. And then we will do a times 7. 7a. Okay. And then we're going to just go back through those same numbers, but with 2 instead of a. So now we have 2 times a to the third equals 2a to the third. 2 times negative 3a squared is negative 6a squared. And 2 times 7 is 14. Then we're going to take all of those, list them out here, and combine like terms. Yeah, do you see any like terms? So we have a to the fourth minus 3a to the third plus 7a, if there's no sign in front of it, it's always positive, plus 2a to the third minus 6a squared plus 14. Okay, and our like terms, the ones that I can see are this a to the third and this negative a to the third. Would be all. So everything else just gets brought down. A to the fourth, negative 3 plus 2 just becomes minus a to the third, minus 6a squared plus 7a plus 14. All right, and same thing for that last one. So we have 2y squared times y squared. The 2, and then 2 plus 2 is 4, so it would be 2y to the 4. 2y squared times 3y. 2 times 3 is positive 6. Squared plus 1 is y to the third. Okay. And then 2y squared times 4 is 8y squared. Same numbers, but with 5 instead of 2y squared. So 5 times y squared is 5y squared. 5 times 3y is 15y. And 5 times 4 is 20. These are all positive, so I might have made fewer mistakes. All right, so this one looks like, I'm sorry, there's our answer for that one. We cannot simplify it any more than that. There's our answer for that one. We cannot simplify it any more than that. Okay, so this one is, we're just going to put all of these together, combine like terms. 2y to the fourth plus 6y cubed plus 8y squared plus 5y squared plus 15y plus 20. Okay. I see I can combine the 8y squared and the 5y squared only, I think. So here are the like terms, and it becomes 2y to the fourth plus 6y to the third plus 13y squared plus 15y plus 20. Final answer. All right, so that is practicing multiplying polynomials. Example 3, 2y squared plus 3 times y minus 4. So 2y squared times y, 2 is alone, where y squared times y becomes y cubed, right? 2y to the third. Then we're going to do 2y squared times negative 4. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 y squared. Okay. Positive 3 times y plus 3y. And then positive 3 times negative 4 becomes negative 12. Final answer. All right, this one. 3x times 7x. 3 times 7 is 21. X squared. 3x times 2y, don't be scared. We just say 3 times 2 is 6. X is alone. Y is alone. It's positive. Negative 7y times 7, positive 7x. 7 times 7 is 49. And we have to make it a negative because a negative times a positive is a negative. And again, just xy. And then we have negative 7y times 2y. Negative 7 times positive 2 is minus 14. Y times y is y squared. Okay. We can combine some like terms. These two together, it's like saying 6 minus 49, and you get 43. 43xy. Okay. And it's a negative 43 because the 49 is much bigger than the 6, right? This one stays the same. And the negative 14y also comes down. I changed the order just because I like the squareds before the non-squareds, but there's nothing wrong with the other way around. And just like up here, I said 3, we said 6xy, and then it would actually be 49yx. I just wanted it to look the same as this one. So I changed it from yx. It could have been negative 49yx, right? I just like it to look like this one. So I just switched those around. I like the squareds before the single powers. So I just moved that one, but you do not have to. All right, squaring a binomial. A binomial just means there are two terms, right? Anything with two terms and only two terms is a binomial. Just like polynomial is many terms, binomial is two terms. A binomial squared is equal to the square of the first term plus or minus twice the product. Product just means multiply. The result of multiplication of both terms plus the square of the second term. Okay? So the exponent tells you how many times to multiply something by itself, right? Just like 3 squared is 3 times 3. So a plus b in parentheses squared means a plus b, a plus b. That is a plus b squared. Okay? That's what they want you to understand. And this isn't mysterious. If we were to FOIL it out, you would see that that's what it looks like. So real quick over here, I will FOIL it out. A plus b times a plus b. Right? A times a is a squared. A times b is ab. B times a is also ab. And then b times b is b squared. So I just FOILed it. First, outside, inside, last. Combine those terms. And I have the same thing they have. I did it with the negatives. A minus b times a minus b. First is a squared. Outside, oops, is minus ab. Inside is minus ab. last is plus b squared. So that would be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So you can see where they got it. They just got it by foiling, okay? So we are going to practice foiling. These. The first term of the answer is the first term of the binomial squared. The last term of the answer is the last term of the binomial squared. And the middle term is a and b, the first term and the last term, multiplied together and doubled. Okay? So x plus 6 squared. X plus 6 times x plus 6. That becomes x times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 6 is 36. Okay. We simplify that to x squared plus 12x plus 36. So when we say the first term of the answer is the first term of the binomial squared. Okay. The last term, 36, is the last term of the binomial squared. So x squared is x squared, 6 squared is 36, right? The middle term is the first term, 1x, times the second term, and then we double it. So 6x doubled. So 6 times x doubled is our middle term. Two times 6x is where we got our middle term. Okay. (12a minus 3 squared). (12a times 12a becomes 144a squared. 12a times a negative 3. 3 times 12 is 36, so negative 36. The 12 has an a, so I'm going to put an a. Inside, negative 3 times 12a is again negative 36a. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. So if I simplify that, we have 144a cubed minus 72a plus 9. So you see how 144a squared is 12a squared. 9 is negative 3 squared. And then negative 72a is 12a times 3 times 2. Our next one is x plus y squared. So that one will be x squared plus xy plus xy plus y squared, right? X times x is x squared, x times y is xy, y times x is xy, y times y is y squared. Plus 2xy, because there are 2 of them, we're combining them, plus y squared. All right. Multiply. 2x plus 5y squared. That means it's 2x plus 5y times 2x plus 5y, right? 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 5y is 10y, 10xy. 5y times 2yx is 10xy. And then 5y times 5y is 25y squared. So we end up with 4x squared plus 20xy plus 25y squared. Over here we have 6a squared minus 2b times 6a squared minus 2b. 6 times 6 is 36a to the 4th, right? Because they were already squared. 6a squared minus 2b is negative 12a squared b. Same here, negative 2b times 6a squared is negative 12a squared b. And then negative 2b times negative 2b is positive 4b squared. 36a to the 4th minus 24a squared b plus 4b squared. All right, special products. Multiplying the sum and difference of two terms. The product of the sum and difference of two terms is the square of the first term minus the square of the second term. So this is the sum. This is the difference. Sum just means add and difference just means subtract, okay? The first term squared minus the last term squared. First term squared. That's what that 2 is. First term squared minus last term squared. Is what they are saying. Okay? So here we can do it the long way. 2x plus 4 times 2x minus 4. Let's do it the FOIL. First, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Outside, 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. Inside, 4 times 2x is 8x. And last, we have 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Okay, so let's put all of those together. We get 4x squared minus 8x plus 8x minus 16. Here are some like terms. Negative 8x plus 8x cancels each other out, right? So now we just have 4x squared minus 16. Do you see how 4x squared minus 16 is exactly what this rule told us would happen? So we have a sum, 2x plus 4, and a difference, 2x minus 4, and it becomes 2x squared would be 4x squared, ooh, right here, And then 4 squared is 16. So we don't need to do all this. We just follow this rule. We square the first term. 2x squared. All of that is 4x squared, right? And then we say 4 squared is 16. And we put a minus sign between them. 4x squared minus 16. 5a squared becomes 25a squared, right? And then 3 squared is 9. So we have 25a squared minus 9. 8c squared is 64c squared. 2d squared is 4d squared, right? If we square 8, we get 64. If we square 2, we get 4. If we square c, we get c squared. If we square d, we get d squared. So this one is 64c squared minus 4d squared. This one is 25a squared minus 9. So we're following this rule, or you can FOIL it out. Either way, you'll get the same answers. All right, last one. We are just going to multiply. We're going to do it like one. We'll just take it one pair at a time. We can't multiply all 3 at once, so we'll just multiply these 2 first. So again, we can either look at the rule that is a sum and a difference. So we can just say it's a squared minus b squared. It's x squared minus 9. Or we can do it the long way. First, x times x is x squared. Outside, x times 3 is 3x. Inside, negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Last, minus 9. That simplifies to x squared. Those cancel, minus 9. And then we're going to bring down the x squared minus 9. Okay, that becomes, first is x to the 4th. Outside is negative 9x squared. Inside is negative 9x squared. Last is plus the square of 9, which is 81. 9 times 9 is 81. X to the 4th minus 18x squared plus 81. Final answer. All right, and that is it. You guys just multiplied a ton of polynomials. Congratulations, and see you soon.